star 1978 star 8378. I don't know why I'm no longer in charge of the phone service. 1975 is. So, switched over carrier and equipment, although I still really like my old faithful phone that I had. But this way, the whatever captured on this it's a different country of origin. It's a different PKU. It's a different carrier. It's just different. And there'll be one of that since I started my video log of my personal plight while I am here. And somewhere I've heard along this trail about they've used this word sound pattern called imperial. I don't know where it exists. Not in this time frame of 20th century, or even really 19th century. I'm unclear. I've heard it used in like a past historical reference or context, almost as if it no longer exists. But I don't know if it no longer exists based onto the level that they've sunk here in this Big Apple, in this Empire State, in this United States of America, in this North America, in this really confusing schematic. But if there was an imperial order, I think it would start with Io. Then if there was some military exchange, it would theoretically be ME. And then, but that would be IOM. And then there's an EEO. For theoretically, I've also heard the pattern of emperor, but EM and PER for person, PERSON, or parson, PARSON. So that would be Iom Eeo, in Italiano is Io, and then me, or me, and then EO for the EO. I just feel so lost in New York City. Totally in the wrong direction, and with it literally feels they have this thing. I know that I'm G under, or so Nicholas told me when we were younger, and by now he's 6 foot over. For things that are 6 foot under, and I'm G under. I don't understand how this went so horribly wrong. When the story lines up so exactly. To finite detail, exactamundo. I lost my train of thought. But I'm thinking of this movie where just recently 20th Century Fox came out with a movie by Ryan Reynolds was the part of the pine box that this area uses for actors on screen, on the silver screen they used to call it. I don't know what happened to that. Oh my gosh, my back. So inside that movie, he's this character that has this very defined feature, and it's different than some of the other pieces that come in and out. When searching for glitter in a G, it's a G litter, like a cat has a litter. There's supposed to be some kind of litter of like family members, but like a G level of litter. At least at Iom Eeo makes sense, but I don't know. In the layperson New York, they don't seem to connect with. It's like they've been disconnected from the machine. It's so but it really feels like trying to find someone in G litter but they pronounce it glitter on paper. Between human and druidic, it's different. But if you had a handful of glitter and the wind came, or and then it just took off in the wind, and then you waited, you went back. That's what humanity feels like every morning. It's like the G litter is so important, and it's right here somewhere, and then from cosmic nursery it's gone, and I don't know how to find it. It's just like the wind just took it away. But inside this movie called Free Guy that came out in 2020, which of course I always like it, so I've always found it interesting. Hindsight's 2020. But anyway, so the character, Ryan Reynolds' character is this man named Guy, G-U-Y. At one point they reboot the system, and his color connection that almost looks like a metro station railway system with the different colors and the different whatever, it's rewired. And so he no longer recognizes the girl in the movie with the sunglasses. And she's trying to pull him back into recognizing her. I almost feel like at times some of those different color wiring schematics, they work in wired into a system, but losing place. This morning I woke up, I took a breath, and the entire visual spectrum around me almost pixelated, and then I lost depth perception for a moment. In like, it was, I mean, like, for lack of a better term, like when a X-ray goes over you, but one that has like a magnetic impulse. I've heard of it happening during that, but it was almost like a body scan in losing impulse for a moment in the body, and my head getting like really, it's like losing pressurized systems. So, but I didn't lose total consciousness. It was just kind of like a scan, but it was interesting because that used to happen to me a lot, several times in my life actually, but this morning it happened, and I was just like, well, it hasn't happened in a while. But again, I'm frightened because I don't know what is attached to that sensation. Did someone take over a system? Is that the appropriate party taking over this? Again, I'm lost in the Iom Eeo. I mean, like, that's, for a human, it's like being lost in the ether or the aether. It's a really frightening place to be. Oh, especially when you know that you've been, like, usually there's not like a catch and release program, but for some reason I feel like there has been, for reasons I can't explain, and that I really missed being on the other side of wherever I was before I got thrown back into this. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It is really hard to even hold oneself up in this. I mean, I call it tracksuit, but it's that. I mean, I call it gridiron. I heard a reference in Washington the other day that the politicians go to some networking event called a gridiron. But when I saw Eric the last time, his shirt had on gingham check. That's what gridiron reminds me of, is gingham check. And that was a face-to-face in proximity. That was the night he was in Silver Audi. Silver Audi got crushed in Born Ultimatum in the parking lot. I don't know why. I don't know if that was just a one-time use, one-time allowance, and then it goes in the big screen just for matchup of like Ghosts in the Field. But it is what it is. We went where we went, and I'm sure it's on some itemized menu somewhere. It's April 8th, 2022.